Today we're going to be going over something that I forgot even existed. It's been quite a while. But this is Jeroo. This is a tool for learning object-oriented programming. And by object-oriented, it means strip objects such as these red things, this flower, this land, and the water. So, Jeroo is a text-based coding environment designed to help novices master the basic mechanics of object-oriented programming. It features a limited syntax to emphasize basic computational thinking skills like problem decomposition, the schematics of control structures like loops and ifs, and use of objects to state and solve problems. Solving problems involves writing a program that helps one or more kangaroo-like objects, i.e. Jeroos, hop around an island while avoiding the nets set by animal collectors to achieve an objective. Along the way, Jeroos can pick up flowers growing on the island and use them to disarm nets. Jeroos must be careful to also stay out of the water, since they never develop the ability to swim. Giro has been used in high school and university classrooms for nearly 20 years, and many teachers find that it provides a great transition tool between a modern block-based system like Scratch and a more general-purpose programming language. The system allows learners to program using a variety of syntax styles to best align with the target programming language in a curriculum. In particular, you can choose between Java/C, Python, or Visual Basic style syntaxes, all within the same tool. So the rest of this is basically references to whatever you want to use. This is just who made it. They did a good job. In order to start, use Click Start Coding right up here. And we're going to not import that. Sure. So you end up with this large box here with a thing of water around it. And there are locations, if you can see down here, when it's over the map. These correspond to each block, and water does not count. At least this border of water does not count. Now, there's an editor in which you can place down grass, water, flowers, or nets. So like we can put down some flowers or some nets and water if we want. So that's the basic thing. You use them to create new islands. So now, what is the whole point of this? As before stated, is to help you transfer between something like Scratch to an actual straight coding language. And it does that through the limited syntax and object orientation. And just how it does have many similarities to the programming language. So the version I'm going to use is the Java one, mainly because I only know Java and only a few other very simplified coding languages. So we're going to, first of all, you want to go into help. This is the language summary, or the API, which gives you all the information you need, the entire bits of code and everything you need in order to code your own thing. So we're going to start off here, which is to create a Jeroo. To create a Jeroo, you simply put the word Jeroo, a name, equals new Jeroo. So we're going to go ahead and just copy this over. Let's see. And you also want to do type in main method. That's my bad. There we go. You want to use brackets around that, and just start with that. You expected method. Was it capital M? Was that the problem? No. No, maybe it's because I forgot these. No? Well, let's just real quick load up an old copy, which could help. Import? No, that's the same one. I know I have one in here. Method main, not main method. Okay. So we do method, and then main, and we should be able to... There we go. So now we have Kim. He is a Jeroo, and he is spawned on the 00 mark. I don't know what that was. So, what do we do now? Well, you want him to move. In order to do that, you put an action method. There are multiple. However, the first one is hop. Move forward one space. Then you have hop with a number, which hops forward. Well, hops forward that many spaces forward. Picks up a flower. Well, plants a flower. And toss throws a flower. And you can also give flowers to a Jeroo, give them in an adjacent space, and a turn in a direction. So we're going to just start with hop. And in order to do this, you need to reference the Jeroo's name. And then you put dot, and then you say hop, and put in that. There you go. It just hopped one space. And then you can repeat this a couple times if you want. And it will keep hopping forward. I'm going to speed this up for the future. And we add a few more hops. Now you see, the Jeroo fell in the water. Technically, it's not a logic error. It just means that you either failed or the Jeroo cannot do anything after it falls in the water, essentially. So what do we do to avoid that sort of thing? Well, first of all, let's just make a simple code to have the Jeroo hop until it reaches the water. So for that, we use a while loop. A while loop is a loop that will sustain itself, as in keep repeating, as long as the thing inside these parentheses are true. So we're going to use a conditional statement. Conditions. So there are a few. Oh, maybe control structures. Nope. It is Boolean methods. There we go. So we have like has flower, is facing, is flower, if there's a Jeroo in a direction, but we're going to use is water. I could also use is clear, but I also want to show this off. So while there is water, and we're going to do Kim dot hop, lowercase h, is water not found this. Oh, you also need parentheses after is water. Is water not found? What? It's right here. Relative direction. Oh. So there's one more thing. When there is a relative direction here. There's a section for that. And there's left, right, ahead, and here. So left is the left of the Jeroo, right is the right of the Jeroo, ahead is one space ahead of the front, and here is wherever the Jeroo is standing. So we're going to use ahead, and it has to be in caps. So there you go. So this should... Is water not found this... What? You are right. Let's add an exclamation mark. No? That is not right. That's not right. Is water ahead? Let me load up the old one again. The example. Don't import. Yes, I'd like to continue. Yeah, we have is water ahead. Did I misspell something, or... That... Wow. Am I forgetting open, open, close, close? You are all just fine. Did I need a capital W? No. That's not right. What if I did this? Would you strangely work? Is clear not found in the scope. Okay, then there's something else wrong. So I'm just going to fast forward a bit, and instead of doing that, we're going to create a new method. So let's go ahead and erase this. Now, what is a method? A method is a way of solving something. You have a method to the madness, a method to solve an equation, a method of learning something, etc. And in this case, in order to make a method, we use just one word and parentheses. So in this case, we're going to call it hop water. And then we're going to put parentheses in one of this. And then we're going to make sure reference Kim for it. And hop water is not found because we haven't made a Jeroo method. The Jeroo method is the method we use for hop water. So we simply say hop water. Yes. Okay. And then we go ahead. Oh, we gotta also add method. And then we need to go ahead and just simply say hop. Now, in this, you do not need to reference the Jeroo because this can be used by multiple Jeroos. You can have a maximum of 4 Jeroos at once. That includes dead Jeroos as well. See? So now it hopped successfully. We're going to go ahead and put the stuff right back in there. Remove the kim.hop. And see, it did not move because there is no water ahead. It's only gonna hop while there is. So you can solve that by saying is clear, or in my case, I'm going to put an exclamation mark, which says if there is not water ahead, then hop. So now it just hopped all the way to the end. I'll slow it down so you can see it again. Alright. And the Jeroo stops right at the end. Now in order to do, So we have just created a basic method that the Jeroo is going to keep hopping until it reaches water. However, I want more stuff for this. I want to create a challenge, I guess. So these are nets. The Jeroo will die, or technically in a sense get caught if he lands on a net. There's a solution behind this, and that is if the Jeroo has a flower on him, he can throw it onto the net using the command, and it will replace the net with just grass. However, how will we tell it to do that? With conditional statements. well, control structures, I mean, which is if else, cascaded if, which I don't really completely understand, and the pretest while, which we are already using. Where's cascaded? Ah, that's why. That makes more sense. This is simply if, and then else if, and if both of these fail, then it does else if, else. That's cascaded. And then we have the while, which is what we just did. So now, let's go ahead and add some of these. There we go. Oh, wrong one. So now I've created a simple layout that the Jeroo is going to have to navigate through. Now the basic goal here is it's going to hop. If it sees a flower, it will pick it up. If it is in front of a net, it will throw a flower so that the net gets destroyed, and then keeps doing that until it gets to the water. It will then stop. So we already have the basic code in place. It hops, but there's an issue. It doesn't have any flowers, and it runs into a net. So you want an if statement. Now this if statement needs a condition. We use the conditionals for that, the Boolean methods, I mean. And we're going to use is flower. And the relative direction we're going to use is going to be here, because the Jeroo can't pick up a flower if it's ahead of a flower. It can only pick it up if it's on a flower. Alright, so let's go ahead and say here. If there is a flower here, and you do not need brackets for the if you're only putting in one command. And then we're going to put in the action method of pick. And do that. Now, it will pick up the flower. However, it just died. Now it needs to be able to throw the flower. So now we use if is net. I think it's a net. When we use the condition, yeah, is net, and then we use ahead. So now we have created the statement that detects if a net is ahead. And after that, all we gotta do is say toss, because that's the action method for that. There we go. Picks it up, picks up all the flowers, and throws them on the net. Boom. That is the most basic thing for the Jeroo. There are many, many other things you could do. Per se, let's say you can hop 10 spaces. You can't directly hop over a net or the flowers is required that you disable them. Let's go ahead. Oh, my bad. There we go. There we go. So we're good. So let's just go over all this stuff right here before we end the video. So nope, go back. So we first have the action methods. These are the 8 action methods that control the movement of the Jeroos and their handling of the flowers. They can hop, which moves them forward 1 space. They can hop multiple spaces. You have to put a number in there. There's pick, which picks up a flower. There's plant, which plants. Toss, you toss a flower 1 space ahead of you. You give a flower to a Jeroo in the space directly in front of you. One moment. I got to finish this. And then there is a give, which gives a flower to a Jeroo in the space directly ahead of you. There's a give for the relative direction, which gives a flower to a Jeroo in the adjacent space. And then turn, which tells you to turn a direction. Now the Boolean methods is has flower. I have checked, and there's no way to check to see if the Jeroo has a certain amount, which sucks, but the whole point is for it to be somewhat limited. So it just checks to see if it has any flowers. And is it facing in a certain direction? Is a flower in a relative direction? Is a Jeroo in a relative direction? Is a net in a relative direction? Is there water in a relative direction? Finally, is it clear? As in no obstacles, a net, a flower, a Jeroo, or water. And by that it means grass. Grass is the only one that returns true to an if clear. Then relative directions, left, right, ahead, and here. And the compass directions, north, south, east, and west. Then we just went over this, but again, if a condition right here, and then the stuff on the inside, the if else, which is if something happens, then do this. However, if it returns a false, then return something else. And then cascade if is the same thing, except it uses else if, which has another condition. And then the while, which will loop as long as there is certain data inside of it that keeps saying true. So essentially is clear. If there is grass ahead, keep hopping forward. Then conditions, the not operator, which reverses whatever's in there. So is water left, however there's a not, so if there is not water ahead, the and, which will return true if both of these are true, and the or, which will return true if only one of these are true. Well, and by that I mean if either one is true, not only one. So this is just extra information. So there's white space, comments, and identifiers. White space is just the blank spaces and blank lines, like this. The comments are these. If you put a double slash and then type a bunch of stuff after it, it's slightly green, which indicates it's a comment, and it does not mess with the program due to the fact that it is commentary. And it detects that by using that, the double slash. And the identifiers, which is the name that programmer creates for a Jeroo method, which is the hop water, or the Kim, or the Jeroo. Just anything that identifies a character, or Jeroo, or something. In methods, you have the main method, which is always here, I think. because it's in the main method section. And then you have, in the main method, you have to declare and instantiate all Jeroos, and by instantiate, I mean create, which is this. And then you use the Jeroos to solve the problem, whatever you were given or whatever you want it to solve. They have to be done in order to do this. User-defined Jeroo methods, which are the methods with the identifier. Yeah, these are the secondary methods, which are in the Jeroo methods, like hop water. And then it extends the capabilities of every Jeroo, and you have to invoke the method directly instead of sending a message to a specific Jeroo, which is why you use kim.hopwater instead of just saying hopwater or just put this over there, you know. Alright, and they can appear in any order. It does not matter as long as you reference them properly. And then you have how you instantiate the Jeroos. This is the most basic form: the Jeroo, the name, and then new Jeroo with a certain selection of data inside. So these are 6 constructors. It cannot do any other. You cannot make any other type of constructor. You can put in different values in different directions, but that is it. So you have the default, which simply just creates a Jeroo with a name. It default points it east and puts it right here at 0, 0. It has no flowers. This one is exactly the same, except now it has 8 flowers because you put in an 8. It specifies the flowers. This one does not give any flowers, but it gives you a location. So in this case, 3, 4. 3 being X, and 4 being Y. Oh. Oh, that's actually backwards. This is the Y. This is the... I did not notice that. But assuming that this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, it's actually going into the y position, not the x position, and vice versa. But that's fine, no big deal. So, same thing, except this one also puts in a direction, so now it faces west. So when it starts, it will face this way, on this side. And then this one allows for a location and flowers. So now it starts at a place and has flowers. And the final one, which gives all the attributes, you have a location, you have a direction, and you have a number of flowers. Alright, now that is all for this video. I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.